I have always been a person to ask a lot of questions. I ask myself as a teenager, what is it all about? And in all of my questioning, and all of my study, and all of my time spent with God, I've come up with an idea. Everybody is looking for love. Everybody wants to have a place where they know they are loved and accepted, a place where they belong. God made us for love. I'm going to read from the book of Isaiah, chapter 6. I saw the Lord sitting on a throne, high and lifted up, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Above it stood seraphim, each one had 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face, with 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he flew. And each one cried to another, saying, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is filled with his glory. And all they do night and day is worship God. So God doesn't need us to glorify him and worship him. He made us because he wants us to glorify him and worship him. He made us because he wants to have a love relationship with us. We seek out love in this world because that's what God made us to do. The problem is, we live in a world with lots of fake love. I grew up with fake love. I only felt loved and accepted by my father if I lived up to his expectations. I call this if love. A love that says, I love you and accept you if you meet these expectations. Another experience I had with this kind of love happened when I was 14 years old. I was very lonely. I didn't have many friends. I wanted so badly to have a place where I felt accepted. I started experimenting with drugs. I knew that it wasn't good for me, but I didn't care. I wanted so badly to be accepted by this group of people that I did it anyway. I was loved and accepted by this group if I did what they were doing, and that's not real love. Another type of fake love is a love that is based on how you feel. I love you because you make me feel good. When I was 17 years old, I started dating a girl. When we were together, she made me feel special. I began to crave that feeling. I began to believe that I needed that feeling. I believed that that feeling was real love, but it wasn't. After a short time, she began to hurt me, worse than I've ever been hurt before. But I stayed with her because I wanted to feel love. And even though I was dying inside, I was addicted to that feeling. Not only do we live in a world with fake love, but we live in a world with hurting people. People who feel so unloved that they just want to escape from how they feel. And they'll turn to drugs, alcohol, bad relationships, and other self-destructive behaviors. But there's hope. Scripture talks about a kind of love that is better than all that. It's a love that says, I will always do what is best for you because I love you. And that will never change. The Apostle Paul talks about this kind of love. Love suffers long and is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not parade itself. It is not puffed up. It does not behave rudely, does not seek its own, is not provoked, thinks no evil. It does not rejoice in iniquity, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. My first real experience with this kind of love didn't happen until I was almost 19 years old, when I met a very special person who's sitting right there. When April and I met, I was a mess, but she didn't give up on me. She encouraged me. She challenged me. I knew that her love didn't depend on what I did or how I made her feel. We've been married for 4 years, and they've been wonderful years. But our relationship isn't perfect. There are many days when we're not good at living up to Scripture. We sometimes hurt each other. We sometimes disappoint each other because we're not perfect, and our love is not perfect. So this may seem like a sad message. Everybody's looking for love, but we live in a world full of fake love. We live in a world full of escapes. And even when we find real love, it's not perfect. It's gonna let us down. So where is the hope? Only God's love is perfect. His love will never disappoint. His love is the only love that was strong enough to conquer sin on a cross. His love is the only love strong enough to conquer death. In the book of John, chapter 3, verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Everybody's looking for love, and we don't have to look any farther than this. John chapter 15, verse 13. Greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for his friends. I know it sounds really simple, but that's because it is. Everybody's looking for love, and everybody needs God's love. It's the only love that'll satisfy. I want us to take a moment and look at our hearts. His love is the only love that is powerful enough to change our hearts. So right now I want all of us to very quietly ask ourselves, am I experiencing God's love? Am I sharing God's love with the world around me? And if I'm not, what's stopping me? What's standing in the way?